It's been a bit of a while, hasn't it? Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ekamek. This is the Glitch Fairy. Oh dear. So, apparently there's been an update to make the boss rush a little bit more tolerable. Unfortunately, it's been so long that I've kind of forgotten how I've played, I guess. So let's just try and get all of our numbers back in order here. They've actually released an art book, and I found that kind of interesting. Hang on, where am I going with this thought? They've released an art book, and it's actually got a lot of interesting concept art in it. Most interestingly is that it talked about original developments for the, Hang on. Yeah, I was afraid of this. It's going to be very difficult for me to try and... It's going to be difficult for me to focus on... avoiding getting hit by enemies. While also talking about how interesting the art book is, because it actually shows early development versions of the bosses. For example, Badassia used to be wearing pink and not as much muscle. In fact, she was actually supposed to be a surprise boss fight. There would be a boss fight against a lazy dragon that felt like it wasn't that difficult to cope with. Yep, I am definitely out of practice. I forgot that she tracks your position! Oh dear, she's... camping! She would be a surprise boss fight after defeating the dragon, which is kind of interesting. Actually, let's just get her out here right now. But then there's a... Yeah, this is... Defeating the boss rush isn't actually mandatory. It's not even for a sort of true ending sort of thing. It's more for an interesting tidbit of lore. But that was very early in development. After a while, they decided to make her the main antagonist, and she actually was a lot more of an antagonist in that version. She'd just be the one flat out using the red skull to steal Moni's flying. Hang on. But what's a bit more like... Hang on, where's my thought train going here? Because I'm focused on trying not to die here. Not only would she very blatantly be the one using the red skull to steal Moni's flight, but actually Moni would get into a bit of a catfight with her afterwards, ending with Badassia throwing her off the cliff as opposed to just slipping. Yep, I'm definitely out of practice here. But yeah, she was also a bit of a tyrant to all of her followers, as opposed to the benevolent ruler that we got in the actual main game. Iberi didn't change that much, still being an overworked demon girl. The actual difference was that Erin wasn't as sensitive a person back then, being the actual reason that Iberi lost her flight by convincing her to, oh yeah, we should totally go out for flying even though you're stone cold drunk, because that is actually against the rules and will get your flight stripped away. She probably didn't know, but still, it's a... Ah, boy. Yeah, I am definitely out of practice. And the thing is, there is plot to be gained from this, and I think that when you get to the end of all this, it actually has the last monster needed to complete the bestiary, so this is something that I need to do if I want 100%, but I need to prove that I can beat this. I need to be able to beat these fights alone. But yeah, Erin just wasn't as good a friend in that version. Which is a shame, because Erin is probably my favourite character. The problem is, I can't even get through this fight with proper H. I can't even get through this fight when I'm starting from a full health. How am I supposed to beat this as a boss rush? And the funny thing is that I actually heard from the dev that they changed it, but it's been so long since I've played, I've forgotten how to play. I haven't even gotten to see what Super Badassier looks like. Finally! So yeah, Iberi didn't change, but Erin did. They also changed the... Clearly there were plans for a Super Badass fight, because there is concept art showing an old cutscene of that, but unlike Iberi giving Moni a power-up, Moni just found a very convenient, oh hey, it's a super healing potion, and that cures everything. Okay, I'll take that. This is the one that always gives me trouble, even because it is clearly for someone a bit more competent than me, because... I hate it. Because they can actually end up fencing you all the way if both of the safety points are in the top right. Actually, Iberi was supposed to have a super mode at some point, but I guess they got rid of that. The fight was already obnoxious enough. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Both of them show up too far away for me to get to the safety zone. If I don't get caught by one, I get caught by the other. And there isn't a turbo mode to quickly get into position. Maybe the change is that they gave, maybe the change is that you get health back between each fight instead of what they usually have. It's interesting stuff, is how I'd put it. It's very interesting to see the plans for the game were taking a lot more comedic tone, but over development they changed it to make it... like, there's still comedy here, but it's still, it's a lot more poignant, I don't know, but I definitely wouldn't have given the game a chance if they hadn't had that somber moment with Bardassia in front of her father's portrait. And yes, that is very different in the concept art version comic of it. There were also supposed to be 6 people for this, actually. There would be, I don't remember all of them, but there was going to be a genie. I don't remember this mechanic. Maybe that's because I'm supposed to beat up the hat first instead. I can't believe I forgot that you don't go after the crystal grubby guy first. Actually, I should have it about here somewhere. Okay, so let's see, the boss. The Terrible Trio used to have 6. There was also a wizard, a genie, and a spider. Okay, good to know. Now, anything else? Apparently, originally the Mimic Queen Bee was going to be a fake out where it looks like you're going to fight her, but then the actual Queen Bee turns around and it's a giant bee. But there was... And then another fake out that was going to be was that she would launch a last ditch attack at you, but they found that to be a bit too mean, so they didn't put that in. Okay, you know what? I heard that they were going to change the Super Bardassia fight so it's less obnoxious. Let's see if that's actually the case. I know it still feels pretty annoying, but like I said, I could just be rusty. Yeah, it still feels pretty cheap to me, if I'm being honest. I'm only lasting this long because I have the doll that gives me random shields. And I made it down to the last stretch of health because of course I did. Alright, Puppet Mooney. And the hands are have hitboxes because I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I feel like the bosses in this game are just a little bit cheap because so many times they have hitboxes for just moving back into position that catches me up. Yeah, I really don't see how I can beat the boss rush after such a long hiatus. Wow, what a waste of my solo invincibility. I guess another interesting thing is that there were plans for defeat animations rather than having enemies just vanish, and that included the bosses. And that included this boss, where Moni would actually tear the cork off, drink the entire thing, and then smash her way out the underneath. Wait, did I really deal that much damage? Was it taking damage off screen and I didn't realize? Okay, question. How much health do I have? Okay, it is actually refilling each time, so as long as you can beat each boss once, you can make progress. I feel like that's a very needed change. Oh, it's cheeky to get you caught in a corner like that. Oh yeah, the bee. The thing is, I find all the stuff in the art book, I find that to be really interesting. The thing is that I also want to support the game, so I kind of don't want to, I don't want to just show it all off, because that the DLC is a way to support the game. And did I just failed the run because I fell down the hole in the floor? Which means that the Father Roid is actually capable of completely destroying your run if he traps you like I've seen him do before. That's kinda ominous, but let's give it one more shot. Downside is that it doesn't refresh items, so if I lose my invincibility early on, wait, he's already down. Oh. Damn it! Why did I have to lose it on this boss particularly, where it doesn't actually do anything to help? Darn it. I like all the details that the art book shows off, but I also want the game supported, so I'm not going to just show it all off. Apparently they really liked the design that they had for the spider part for this, but they just couldn't figure out a way to include her in the game. Oh yeah, we're going to have to deal with the half vampire at some point, aren't we? I don't particularly focus in indie games, but there have been a few indie games that I've quite enjoyed let's playing, aren't there? Okay, let's not die to the bee by falling in the gap this time. Oh, right, this guy. I feel like has been the end of certain runs before. He apparently also had a partner called the Moon, but some people just have to be cut. Like, you have to at some point go, right, I'm done with this game, it has to be released, otherwise it'll never get released. Nope, I can't hit him from off screen. I've got to actually have him on screen to hit him. I really needed that heal, and I get the feeling I'm gonna have to spend it here. I wish the shield didn't come back. I wish it would just stay down. I guess this is why I did my warm-up then. Did he make it this far last time? I don't know, and oh dear. The thing is, if she decides to go for... if you get caught there, then it's over. Like this. basically have to have this pattern memorized because otherwise it will eat through all your HP because you can't get out of the way. Also, apparently he was going to have a spear, but they decided to cut that because spears have important symbolism in the Kanika fight. What happened to cows being immune to spikes? How'd you get that up there? Okay, yeah, which one's the health potion? Oh, right. Also, another thing worth mentioning, originally there were plans for the Haunted Woods to actually be 2 different levels, and it would have 2 different bosses because of it. But eventually they decided, nah, we'll just make it 1, and the two bosses, they decided to keep the vampire boss. But I don't think it was always intended to be this girl. I think she actually did have, or rather, where am I going with this thought? Got her. Oh boy, it's this nonsense again. At least I'm freshly aware of it this time. Oh, I got faked out there. But yeah, I think they had an entirely different vampire boss in mind. It's gonna catch me! I knew it. I knew it was gonna catch me. Okay, at least we pummeled through it that time. And now the boss I do not remember at all, so it'll probably beat me. I don't get potions back, so yeah, I think this is where my run ends. Oh wait, no, we did it. But do I actually remember how to fight her? Nope, this is definitely the end. Yep. Well, let's see what else we've unlocked at least. Interesting. But yeah, I clearly can't do this boss rush in one go unless I refresh myself on everyone who I fight as. Or rather, everyone we fight against, and I might also have to pick a specific fight to be, I might have to pick a specific fight as the one I'm worst at, and so the one I use the potion for. Anyway, it's nice to get back to Glitch Fairy. I do hope I can get that 100% or that secret ending at some point, even though it's probably not worth it. Either way, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.